Your question, the member from Newmarket, Aurora.
Thank you. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Transportation. Speaker, the people of this province are tired of unelected people being appointed to panel after panel to make the important decisions that should be made here. Once again, we have a panel now being appointed by the Minister to deal with funding of infrastructure. We have a recommendation for the Minister. Will the Minister agree to appoint an all-party committee made up of equal membership of all three parties that would be mandated to find the necessary funds to fund our infrastructure needs out of our existing $128 billion budget and the appropriate private sector investments? Will the Minister agree to that kind of appointment of parliamentarians? Give them a 60-day mandate to find the solution. We're looking forward to working with the government to do exactly that.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, right now, this region alone, in the Greater Toronto-Hamilton area, is competing with London. The national government in the UK is putting $24 billion into subways. Our national government in our economic capital is putting less than 1% in that total, and that's what we're competing with, Mr. Speaker. Liberal governments now have governments at the other levels have put zero into the transit. We cannot continue with the horrible neglect in Ottawa of our economic capital. Toronto deserves the same support from Canada that London gets from Britain, that Paris gets from France, that New York gets from the Federal Department of Transportation. And we're doing more than our part. 90% of the funding, 4%. Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
I know you don't want to eye me because you know I'm going to say something, so I'm just going to leave it this way. You are on the edge. Supplementary.
Speaker, I'd like to readdress my question to the Minister of Transportation because we agree that the funding challenge is great. The proposal that we're making to the Minister and to the government is that we strike an all-party committee of this legislature with equal membership from all three parties that is charged with the responsibility to find the funding necessary for our infrastructure out of our existing $128 billion budget and the appropriate private sector investments, so that we don't have to defer that decision to a panel that is simply going to tax people to death in this province. Why will the Minister not accept our proposal that parliamentarians be charged with that responsibility, give them 60 days to get the job done? Let's get on with the work.
Mr. Speaker, we on this side of the House will be more than glad to consider that kind of option or partnership when the member opposite can find a single Conservative politician in Canada or Ontario who will write a check for a subway or an LRT. You can't keep playing politics, Mr. Speaker. You can't talk subways and talk rapid transit and not invest. Mr. Cameron in the United Kingdom understands that for London to compete with Toronto and with Berlin and with Shanghai, the British government has to make sure London's the most mobile centre. When the member opposite, Mr. Speaker, when the Conservatives opposite can engage the Conservatives at City Hall or in Ottawa and demonstrate where they do control government to write a check, Mr. Speaker, I will take some comfort in that. But they should start getting on the phones. Mr. Harper's phone number, Speaker, is 613-992-4211, Mr. Speaker.
Your question?